Not all poetry needs to be liked or approved by others. Not all art is for sale. Sometimes you create just for yourself. So that poem becomes a friend in the time of adversity, when things are rough and only you know what mess you've gotten into. So you're really not indebted to write for anyone else in the world. Art is personal, first and foremost. Use it to search and find meaning and fulfill your own purpose, whatever that may be. Because poetry is what language alone can do. There's a gentle quarrel and quandary in poetry, a tug in finding meaning of the subtlety of existence. Everything doesn't meet the naked eye. The world we live in is just a manifestation of how things are at the tip of the iceberg. What poetry allows us to do is see beyond, by employing language to our advantage, by often being playful, even foolish in our approach, but almost always unapologetic in what we want to say. Poetry is also easily the highest form of language. We use our language so diligently to communicate, and as humans, I think it's our primal need to communicate and express our views to each other. So poetry aids us in doing just that. But language is only the body. What's being said is the soul. And that's how poetry is vital in expressing our views to the nth degree of thought. And so we do that as humans, and it compels greater understanding between us, regardless of where we live or what our upbringing has been like, or the cultural context in which we are placed. And then again we ask ourselves, what purpose does poetry truly serve? Does it lead to healing of the world? Poetry doesn't necessarily heal the world because the world cannot be healed. There's always going to be sickness, death, chaos, conflict, things of degeneration. But what poetry does instead is heal personal trauma. Because simply by the act of writing, you put yourself into the position of witness and not victim. So simply by writing, you cause your brain to rewire some of the damage from a personal point of view to a bystander. Instead of thinking, oh, this terrible thing happened to me, it becomes, oh, this happened and that was that. What it also does socially and communally is it leads to greater understanding of each other by sharing the lived experiences. As Ibn Yamin, the Persian poet, said, making the unknown unknowns into the known knowns. So it connects us all in this vast landscape of life where otherwise we might find ourselves totally clueless and alone.